Hey guys, this is something that you don't want to miss. Our first Faith and Mental Health Tour is stopping in Orlando, Florida on May 22nd at 5 p.m. A Chili's Art Cafe located at 2295 South Hiawassee Road, Unit 100. I'd look to see you there. Now let's get back to our show. What's up, everybody? We are back again. You guys know what time it is. It is the He Is Able podcast. This is all about the fellas knowing that we can do better, and we are here to work with one another. So tonight, we're going to have a very interesting topic. I know that it's going to start some heated conversations. I know because I know that the ladies may have a slight issue with some of the things that the guys will say tonight. So I'm hoping that this will be a good experience, of course, but we will see. Guys, I tell you what, Brother Cameron, would you like to say anything before we get started?
Yeah, just know that he's able, and we're doing this out of love and putting God first within all this, and we're gonna keep it clean. Even the people that calling, just keep it clean, and just tell your heart, speak your heart, and we'll do the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, there is a call-in number, guys, and that call-in number is on the bottom of the screen right now. So if you do want to call in tonight, also, if you want to be seen on the screen tonight, let me know inside of the chat box. And as we get started, I can easily send you over a link so that you can jump in as well. Please share this with some people right away. Share this so that some people can jump in on this podcast tonight. This is going to be a very interesting podcast. And the topic of the podcast tonight, did he leave for a good reason? We're talking about single parent homes, and men, primarily men. Why do you leave? What is the reason so many men are easily walking away from the home and leaving their children behind? I want to know that tonight. We're going to talk about it. Hopefully we can get to some root answers, some as far as what's really going on. And we'll see what happens tonight. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited. Thank you all for jumping in, to everybody that's here tonight. I know that we are about to have a good show. So while I say that, let's just get ready to rumble. Hey, check this out. I had to just play that for a second for you guys so I can get a little rock and roll feel in your blood. Anyway, listen. Brother Cameron, we don't have our brother Rashad with us tonight. He had some things he had to take care of, some emergencies. So tonight, talk to me a little bit, my brother. Do men leave for a good reason? Do they leave their families or baby mothers, whatever it may be? Do they walk away for a good reason? Talk to me for a minute. Let me know what you feel on this.
There's a lot of reasons. It could be pushed into pressure of finance. It could be mental health. It could be a whole lot of different issues. It could be the job, or I have known and read of people who have killed their whole family. They didn't leave them; they just killed the whole family because of pressure. Because mental health, that's one thing. It could be whereas these people are not equally yoked, and if they're in the church or not in the church, they could be unyoked. Way of being raised differently in different background, having different backgrounds. So it could be a lot of reasons that pushes them to that point where people just don't gel, and then they go separate ways, or the guy would just walk off. I have some reasons why I did a long time ago, and I'll share that later.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. I'm already getting some responses inside of the chat. Yes, I see that I had children before outside of marriage. I understand that. For instance, like even with the division point of marriage, let's say it this way. I want to make this clear. When we talk about leaving, it's not just about marriage here. We want to talk about the relationship period. two people are together, they say they're in love, or they say that they want each other, and they commit to having sexual intercourse with one another, and then there's a baby that's born out of that. And when the baby comes, now, regardless if it's marriage or not, they are considered a couple. This is a family now. It's a bond, a family bond. So once that family bond is in place, now what? I mean, I don't think that the paperwork of marriage, according to courts, I don't think that should be the glue that holds couples together, especially when they have a child involved. Let me just say that. So when we talk from this angle, talk to me a little bit. I'm seeing some of the comments that are flying in right now. Carmen, I can see that Carmen said. Hold on a second here. Carmen is saying hello, everyone. Okay. I got Carmen on. She's kind of giving us a shout out. How I got back with my ex-husband after he said he doesn't have anything to do with me because we had a little misunderstanding. He left, but today I will probably tell the whole world that we are together after I contacted Dr. Okusan. He has, what did it say? He cast a love spell that brought back my ex-husband. Oh, wow. Now
Wow.
we are happy living together. If you are facing similar problem, I'm interested in what this is. What, a love spell? I'm interested.
Good for you, Carmen. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Good for you,
Carmen, you're
Carmen.
gonna have to give me some enlightenment
Yeah,
on this.
I like
need
that.
to know what kind of what is that? A love spell? Okay. So
Put
yeah,
your head on my shoulders.
I can see it right now. Everybody's gonna be inboxing me like, man, did she send you the spell? Did they send you the spell? People walking around trying to spell everybody that they want versus who wants them. But at the end of the day, listen, this is a great topic because it's so many families. I kind of took a moment to look at a little bit of the stats on this. And interesting enough, it says, I used to be under the impression a lot of times that within the African American community, it was the biggest. If you watch a lot of television, there's a lot of emphasis placed on the African American community when it comes to single parent homes. But what I was shocked to see here is that the single parent home ratio really does not match up to what we are being sold on television.
Mm-hmm.
About 4 out of 10 children were born to unwed mothers, and nearly 2/3 of the were born to mothers under the age of 30. Today, 1 in 6 children under the age of 18, a total of 12.7 million, are raised without a father. Man, that is something to think about. That many children are raised without a father. Why? Why? Ladies, talk to me. Why? Why do you feel this way? Do you think do men leave the house? Do they leave their family because they just find a new woman? Do they leave because of they lose interest at home? Do they or is there a reason that they really leave? Are women pushing men out of the home? Are there certain arguments and attitudes and things like that will cause a man to leave? Come on, talk to me. I want somebody to jump in with us. Call in if you can. The number's on the bottom of the screen. If you want to come on the screen, please do let me know in the inbox, and I will definitely send it out. Let's see. Some men just don't want to deal with. Oh, I see that. I see that. Some men just don't want to deal with the responsibility. Oh my, fellas. Boy, the fellas got to start talking because, boy, these women lighting them up already. So you're saying to me that men are leaving because they're just lazy. They're not. They don't have what it takes to commit to not only the wife but also the family in whole. Is that what we're saying? Please let me know. What do you think on this, Cam?
So when they talk about responsibility, now there are women or men who don't take their responsibility within the home. That's true. But then there are those men who have work hard, go out to work, and there are women who just feel like they have to compete with their other friends. Oh well, he doesn't have drive this kind of a car, or he don't have this type of job. He's not bringing in more money like I'm bringing in money. You know, and that just pushes the man to a certain point when you keep knocking him down and keep demeaning him over and over and pushes him out the way. And eventually, when a man is gone, he's gone because a man will hang in there much longer. Women, when they're fed up, they fed up. A man will hang on in there for a while. So if a man leaves, it got to be some serious pressure. Trust me.
Oh. So you're saying it's not quite that easy. Men don't just walk away
No, they don't.
so easily. They're actually pushed away. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Oh
that's
wow.
exactly what I'm
Ladies,
saying.
I know the ladies have to be hearing this tonight, and I'm sure they're kind of just gearing up their typing skills right now, ready to jump on. So this brother is telling y'all tonight, and I'm hearing you loud and clear that the key reason is not that they're lazy, not that they don't want to commit,
Right,
but they are pushed away. Is it
right,
possible for arguments to be too much? And
right.
how do men really cope with arguments? Are men okay with arguments? Is that the pressure that busts the pipes for men?
Right. And I have to say this now. Now they I'm being truthful. Now there are men who have cheated on their either their spouse, their girl, whatever,
Mhm.
and felt real guilty to the point whereas okay, now she's getting on me, keep bringing it up what I did in the past, but I'm trying to make it better, and she's not listening, but she's keep going back to oh, you remember when you did whatever, and then eventually he just leave. Can't take the pressure of that anymore.
Wow. Well, I was looking into the Huff Post, and some of the stats that they gave. There's seven top reasons why men leave their marriages or relationship. Seven top reasons, and this comes from therapists that are reporting. And one of the reasons is they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel appreciated. They say that men want to feel and express the love they have for their spouse, but when a husband feels unappreciated by the whole family, he's more likely to show resentment than love. Is that true? Is that true? Come on, talk to
Come
me.
on.
Is that a true statement tonight?
And there's something else also, respect. If you're not feeling respect within that relationship, that's the biggest thing I feel that men have a problem with. Respect, no matter what goes on, as far as you might disagree on whether it's about finances or whatever that you may have an argument about, that respect, man, that disrespect, that's number one.
So that's like saying that then if I'm disrespected, I'm not needed. Basically, is that
Right,
what you're
right,
saying?
exactly.
I understand that. I understand that. And like number two, one of the other things is that they're at odds with their spouse over spending. Money is sometimes a big issue in relationships
Right.
here. And it says that many men who come to couples therapies are often disgruntled about their partner's poor financial decisions. Um,
That's true.
and is it only just financial decisions, or is it even pay scale differences?
I think is both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They both kind of fit into the same vein.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I mean,
Right.
I hear so many times like when guys say, man, I left her because she was trying to boss me around. She was trying to she was acting
Control.
like they were very disrespectful. So they left, and they had no problem with leaving the kids behind because they said, hey, I'll see
Right.
the kids when I see the kids, but I can't put up with being in the home with her because she argues too much.
Right.
That's some of the things that I've heard guys say. So with that being said, is that really giving us a feel of man? Are we in a place really where it's not important enough? Do we try hard enough? Are men really trying hard enough?
That,
I
like
mean,
I
what?
said, yeah,
Go ahead,
like
brother.
yeah, like I said before, men don't just get up and just leave. Especially when it comes around kids, man. I feel like I said, the disrespect and put down that kind of stuff. Just things they say out of their mouth. The tongue is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's one. Divorce is one of the big is a high there's a high rate as far as divorce always been in this country, I guess in the world, and finances is like the number one for that.
Well, looking into this, I also saw that the numbers were this that 7.1 million white and non-Hispanic families uh, with there it's about that amount with
Hmm.
single mothers living in the United States. This is a slight increase from the 90s. It says now,
Wow.
amazingly, non-white, uh, his non-Hispanic. I'm sorry, white non-Hispanics lead the way in the amount of single parent homes, and then what follows that, uh, the African American
Community.
culture follows
Right.
afterwards. And I used to always think that it was the African American population that had the most single parent homes, but apparently that's not the case.
With that,
When
that's
you
what
look
they
at the stats. Yeah,
well that's what they that's what they put out there, make it look like we're the most we have the most problems as far as that. But
right.
that's another show.
We got a brother just chimed in. He said, "I believe that some men leave their marriage because they were ready for the beginning, and the bottom line, they made it for the wrong reasons. One being the flesh, to being, as the street would say, a dime piece. Three being, she's financially stable and can take care of him, but deep down in those means hard, they had not finished spreading their royal oaks." Basically, what
Wow.
he's saying is, at the end of the day, the biggest thing may be that they're just not finished and not ready to settle down.
Right.
And what makes a man commit? What makes a man commit? Let's ask that question, because I really want to see. Because for me, my thought process is arguments come. They come. My family, your family, anyone can have arguments. In relationships, you're guaranteed to have arguments. But at the end of the day, what makes you commit? Committing to something helps you to push past petty arguments or pride issues. And a lot of times, when a man has too much pride, it can lead them to not be able to take certain words from their spouse because they feel as if though those words can tear them down. But when you really are committed to a thing, you'll go through a lot of stuff that you really, 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 really wouldn't usually go through if you were not committed. Let's read another person here. I have someone here by the name of Ebony. Ebony just jumped in and she said, "Men don't like to take advice. They prefer to do what they want with no advice, and that's why women nag." Ooh, ooh,
Ooh, ooh.
listen, and it will be better. Women that are good can guide a man. Honestly, Ebony, I agree with a lot of what you just said there. So let me just say this in response to that. It takes a certain amount of wisdom when dealing with each other, especially when in marriage, when you
Hmm.
or in just dealing with people, period, really. But in marriage, it takes it. There are the possibilities of marriages not working. When you have that thought in the back of your mind, you don't feed that thought. And the reason why I say that is something that I really had to pay attention to, is that I don't feed the negative thought and feed that monster in the background of splitting up. So sometimes it does. It kind of causes you to take the road of being the bigger person and learning how to word things and go around certain conversations to where you can maneuver a person. I tell you one thing about men: if you approach a man in a certain way, he can receive stuff. And the reason why I say that is because it's just a natural thing for a man to push back. It's a natural thing for a man to kind of stick his chest out. But with wisdom, you can word things in a way that could really finesse him in a way to where, hey, he'll listen if it's worded right. It's just a natural thing.
Right.
It's like, and the toughest thing is dealing with men, because men do have a lot of issues of pride and feeling as if though they are the leader, and
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of blah 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 that's already in the head. And so we have to it takes a certain, just the wisdom to be able to, a technique to use to really get them to where they are. But I will say this: men hate nagging. Men
Right.
hate nagging. It's like, I believe one of the scriptures, if I could go to the Bible, there was like three different occasions inside of the scripture in the same book where he said it's better to dwell in the corner of a rooftop than in a big house with a brawling woman, with a woman that's upset. Basically, man, she will drive you crazy with nagging because she's upset, basically. And then
Right.
one of the same, in that same book, it said it's better to dwell in the wilderness than to dwell in the house. So it's kind of it's kind of
Looking
like
for
one of those
peace.
situations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to understand that there's so much power that women have. And though you
Right.
may feel like your words are not powerful and you have to use stronger words, you really don't, because your soft words could really kill a man slowly. And it can also build a man up if you use it the correct way. So it's really a eggshell type of way of living. I hate it, but eventually we're hoping that this podcast especially can help men start to look at things a little bit differently,
Different. Right.
and also approach, what I'm saying, relationships and their families differently. So what do we have here, child? Okay, I have Evelyn Childs. We need to learn to. Oh, what do we got there? Pick our absolutely, Ebony. Absolutely, absolutely. That is word. That
Yeah.
is word.
Yeah.
And I just really think that if we practice communicating more, a lot of the
Right.
issues that we have won't be issues at all. And I think that if we go from 0 to 100 with arguing and yelling, you know what I'm saying, and we haven't learned. And I'm not saying this just from the woman's standpoint. I'm saying even from the male standpoint, because we haven't learned how to communicate, then it will always cause someone to walk away sooner or later, because that it's just stressful. It's stressful. Go ahead, Cam. You were
You,
about to say something, sir.
and hear me clear on this. I have heard a lot of women say that they love hard, and if a man goes out and cheat on that woman, right? This is one of the reasons why men will leave. If a man goes out and cheat on a woman, and a woman already give her whole heart and soul to that man, she's doing everything she can to for that man, even probably not even nag him, but try to provide and meet him to every meet him to every need that he needs, and he turns around and you know within himself get real guilty of what he has done to that woman, and then she start talking a little bit like, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired. Can you meet me at least halfway or half and half? And he gets frustrated, one like you said, sick his chest out. After a while, when she starts seeing, he feels like she's actually seeing through him. He leaves. And I mean, that's not always good because he meant no good, and that's why he will leave. So I got to give that side too. They got some guys out there that just ain't no good. you
Right,
know. I mean,
right,
that's just being real. And
right.
and and this woman, like the woman was letting them know straight up. Look, I love hard from the beginning, throughout. the relationship, and then they go out and because of guilt, can't take it no more. You know,
Right. Right.
like look, one more thing. That's just like, for instance, she could see right through him, and he decides that okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna be coming home late because I got to do this. She's not gonna trust him, so therefore she start nagging him. But that's not because she wants to, because of the past. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And right quick before we go on, hold on one moment.
Hey, it's Thomas Ware here. Go pick up your copy of Reinvention of the Black Man, Declaration of Dependence. It's available on Amazon and Walmart, so get your copy today.
Wow, wow, wow. Declaration of Dependence. And that is what we're talking about. Like, we really do, when you really understand, and we know, men know that they need women. Men know that there's a need. We know that, and it's more than just about, their body. We know that there's a need. The biggest issue is really the communication. And really, you said something earlier, Ebony. You said, pick your battles. We got to learn how to pick battles, and sometimes that's what pushes people to the very close to the biggest edge of their life, is when it seems as if though every little thing is always thrown up in your face, or you're always being attacked in some way with words. I see someone put here on, Evelyn, looks like Evelyn put something up. She said, practice how to address our spouse when issues arise or even disagreements. Have go to phrases and de-escalate situations, and even themselves from improperly responding. Okay, okay, absolutely. Yep, it is so important that we do that. That we do exactly that, to really address. We got to learn how to respect each other enough to where we approach each other with love, and if we approach each other with love and kindness, there's really not a lot of, there won't be so many arguments, and I don't think that there'll be so many issues. And let me just go back to the scripture, because I love to do that. But he said that a soft answer turns away wrath, and that is so, so true. Even when it seems like the energy is really strong, if we just take a second and allow a moment to think before we respond, and get pride out of the way, and understand that we're not each other's enemy. When you do that, it helps a lot, because a lot of men give that answer that they leave because they feel like they're always challenged, and that is a very bad thing. Right quick, you guys, share this with somebody while you're on. Share this with somebody. Tell them to jump in on this conversation. Ebony, I see you have another statement here, and it actually says that women are the helpmate. We love, nurture, keep house, keep kids, cook, clean, and work. So when a man come home like a hard day's work, watch sports and ignore wife and kids, it's not easy on the wife. So we ask for help. Truly. And I even found myself in that position, and I had to make it intentional that I did not go in and shut myself off from everyone after a long day, because it's really not fair for the woman to have everything piled up on top of her, and we feel as if though there's no obligation as the man. Now, this goes back to a great deal of upbringing. Can I just say that for a moment? Because we have the upbringing issue, and when I just truly believe a lot of the issues that we have, if you studied the person you date first and asked questions, the uncomfortable questions, watch mannerism, listen to how he talks about, or she talks about, they were raised, their family, how the dad treated mom, how mom treated dad. A lot of this stuff, we can avoid a lot of issues. I don't care how good the person look, how good they smell, how good they try to sweep you off your feet. If you paid attention to some of that, by the end of that dating course, before you ever end up into marriage or having children, you can kind of make a sound decision on whether or not you should be in this relationship or not. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you kind of put yourself in a situation where now I saw it coming. I knew this was it could be a possibility, but now I'm in this marriage. Now I have this child, and now it's going to be a lot harder to cut ties and separate because of all of the investment that has been put in. So absolutely true. Absolutely true. So we got, okay, I see we got a statement from Hector Rosales. He says, sometimes women will speak to us men as if we're their child and not their spouse. Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I agree with that, Hector.
We hear you when you speak. Tell us the things once. There is no need to repeat a request. Oh wow. So I'm seeing an issue here, guys. So basically, wait a minute. The brother said, "Don't treat me like a child." Women, is that something that women do? Do women try, especially when a woman has a child already? Do they speak to that man as if though they are a child also? Come on, I want to hear from the ladies on that. And while you guys are thinking, let me just read the next statement. Hold on. It says, this is so true. Pay attention to the red flags in the beginning. Absolutely. Because the flags are always there. You basically, a lot of times we get swept off our feet with words and the company and stuff like that. And we forget all about the future and what we're involved in. And that is a bad thing to do, is get entangled in a situation, and then you have too much to lose by separating. Hold on a second. I got another statement. I don't agree with it. I saw everything coming, and regardless of the fact you're supposed to not judge, but love the person who God can change. Oh, okay, Ebony. Okay, let's look at that for a moment. So we want to make sure that we have a perfect, clear understanding. You said you saw everything coming. Regardless of that fact, you're supposed to not judge. Now, listen. When we talk about judgment zone in scripture, we are talking about judgment as far as the fruit of people and what God has a place to put them. Like, we can't put anybody in hell. We can't put anybody in heaven. So therefore, we can't really judge in that manner as though we can choose a person's final destination. We can choose the actions and the attitude and the character of a person. When we judge those things, we can notice judgment only means that we are given an observation of a certain thing. So when we give it the observation, we make a judgment call. It's like driving up to the red light. If you see the light's yellow and then you say, well, how far away am I from that light? Do I need to stop now or just speed through it? That's a judgment. You make a judgment call. And I think it's even more critical when it comes to the relationship. And the reason why I say that is because in a relationship, you are stuck with this person for a very long time, especially if you have children. So your life depends on your judgment, how well you live, how happy you are. Ultimately, that all boils down to you making a judgment call. I don't believe God has ever put us in a place where we walk into everything blissfully and blindly. I think God has always told us to judge the tree by the fruit that it bears. And that is where we have to really think about when dealing with relationships. A lot of us know who we deal with. We know what we got into from the get-go. We saw it a long time ago, but we overlook it because I felt a certain way about the person. I love the person. I already got my feelings involved. And those things kind of cause an issue when it comes to the bottom line of the relationship. I see another statement here. It says some men are not mature enough to take anything from a woman, so they interpret it as being spoken as a child. Ooh, woo, woo, woo.
I gotta say something about that.
Tonight. They are shooting shots tonight.
I gotta say something about, you know why women, why they feel when a woman talks to a man like he's a child, because they feel like they're not credible. You know, You knew what you were getting into before you got with that person.
Ooh.
You knew exactly where you get. So guess what? I don't want to just say deal with it, but you got to deal with it. If you care about that person.
Whoa, wait! I do want to say in defense. Now they did have a second portion of their thing, and they said, but some women do speak to men as children, and I feel like that's when they have lost respect for them. I tell you one thing: the worst place you could be in is a place where you feel like the person that you're with has lost all respect for you. I think that's the worst part of a relationship when a person has lost respect, talks to you
Toxic.
any kind of way, and really kind of like they're not worried about the relationship ending. They don't care about the relationship anymore. They don't care about your feelings. That's one of the worst places to be in. But I do hear a lot of men say that they feel like a lot of women come at them like that. And is there a result? Is there some middle ground that could be met? Where instead of blowing up, losing our cool, and saying everything crazy, we gain that relationship, that friendship in the relationship where we know how to talk to each other, or at least go to somebody and work it out. I think that's so
You know
important.
what? They both need to communicate, and that if they start with that, I think that they could see where each other have things that they have to work on, and probably come together, and it'll smooth out.
Absolutely.
Communication.
Communication is a must. It is a must. And so, looking at that, I just want to go back to our stats for a moment here, because I do want to read this for a second. And it says this is do single dads prefer single mothers? And this is an interesting thing because they have mutual responsibilities, priorities, and shared interests. Single dads are drawn to single mothers because they experience similar hardships, and they see a relationship with the single mother as an opportunity to rebuild family unit by joining other families. Now, here's the thing: I have women who have said to me, they say that the man leaves their home, then they go to another home with another woman and treats their children better than they treat the children that they have, that's their real children. Ladies, chime in on that. Is that true? Does that happen often? Do men walk or do men have a habit of walking away from their own family, their own children, and then be involved with a woman that has children and treats that family, his new family, better than he treats his children back at the old home? So is that true? Where you at, women? I want to hear it.
I've seen that happen.
That's
I've
true.
seen that happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think? All right. So, Brother Cam, while we wait for the ladies to say some things here, why do you think that happens? Do you think it's because the woman at the other home makes it easier for him to be himself and nurtures him in a way that makes him want to do what's needed to be done in that house? Is it that strand? Is that what's happening?
I think exactly word for word what you just said, but I guarantee the man that same one was with before, she probably was treating him like hell. You see what I'm saying? But she gets this new guy, and it might be for a while.
Right. So he's leaving a relationship where he was treated badly or poorly. And then when he meets this new woman, the new woman treats him like a king. So he's more likely to do more when he feels and oh, guys, that's a great question. And ladies, I hope you're listening to this one, because this is a good question. Are men more likely to pick up the responsibilities and do what's needed to be done if he's treated like a king, if he's treated like he's cherished? Will he pick up his part and do more when he feels good?
I believe so.
Talk to me. Is that true?
I believe so in some cases. I really believe so. A man would leap boundaries just for a woman if he's feeling respect in certain areas. He's talked to with respect and not feeling like he's some little boy. I feel like, he'll leap.
All right. Wow. I'm getting a lot of comments here. Never experienced it, but I think that it's easier for him because the kids aren't his. So you've oh wow. Okay,
That's not always true now.
that's
That's not always
interesting.
true.
But I'm just saying that's kind of interesting because
Yeah,
I thought that men have a lot of pride in their children, their bloodline, and
right,
so
right,
that they would, if they could, they would.
right.
Is that true? If they could spend more time, if the mother they leave does not keep them from the child, will he? Do you think he would spend more time with his own children if that woman that he left doesn't block him from doing so?
Now we got to look at the age difference with the kids that he's leaving to go to.
Okay.
Are they 3, 4, or 11, 12? Because those kids, they're not. They have a dad also, and they can recognize their dad. They may give him problems. You understand? So that's not
Right.
always true. You know, some
I
guys
see.
go to the next family and be like having a coming with their chest sticking out, like, or they just back off and don't do anything because they feel like well, I'm just here for her. So that's not always true.
Okay. I see. Jacinda says this. She says, without effective communication, a message can turn into error, misunderstandings, frustration, or even disaster. By being misinterpreted or poorly delivered, we must learn how to communicate with our spouse. That is absolutely true.
That's true.
Absolutely
Yeah,
true. Absolutely true. I think it's all in communication. A lot of
communication,
times,
man.
uh, people don't take the time out to listen to what the other person is saying. And so before they can finish what they're saying, they have the other person interjects with their thought or what they feel the person was trying to get to, and it kind of just causes that whole conversation to go into a disaster mode. I understand that 100%. That's good. So we have another question, another statement. He could just walk away with no obligation. Is that true? Do you think men walk away without obligation and they have no how could we say, like, there's no a regret in their heart that their child is left behind, or even leaving the marriage? Because I believe that in relationships a lot of times you'll see where men still have a lot of feelings for their, whether it was the spouse or just the baby mother, they still have a lot of feelings for them, but they had to leave because they could not get along with each other. How about you, Cam? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that, and it could be vice versa. Sometimes they just don't care; they want to go. But
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
Wow, this is interesting because it's just really important. You know, men, this has been a mystery for some time. This has been a mystery for some time that that the guys, how can you just walk away? How can you just walk away? That is a mystery to women.
Yeah,
Aside from
that's
everything
cold.
else, I believe tremendous. One of my big beliefs is, aside from everything else, you have to be a person in life. A man is really calculated by his commitment, what he commits to. If a man can commit to something, you will know about his integrity level. You will know
Hmm.
about his upbringing. It's about commitment. Commitment causes us to do a lot of shedding ourselves and a lot of compromise. And
Right.
so when you're committed to a relationship, a family, I believe that it should become even harder. And let me say it this way: if men were brought up seeing healthy families and being taught the importance of being present, I believe that they would have such a conscience when it comes to leaving the family or walking away. It will be something that will keep them there and
Hmm.
work it out. You know, pride is like the biggest killer for relationships. And men, we do have a lot of pride. Women, there's a lot of pride. At the end of the day, men, we have to work on ourselves and what we how we respond in life, how we respond to our relationships, our children, and the family. Let me go to Ebony right quick. Ebony did put another post up. She says, from Joe, I feel the circumstances of the relationship determines what a man will do. A lot of men and women come from what they believe is perfect in the view instead of working on issues, speaking from experience. I don't have kids, but how does it go? My dad raised. I don't see. I can't really catch what that says there. It says, but I think he put did in there, but it just says, but you did raise them both as your own. As a whole, we must deal with our own issues. I feel no matter who walks away, there will always be obligations. Absolutely,
Yeah.
there's always going to be
Yeah.
obligations, and then also it's just the regret of it. At the end of the day, the regret of what happens later in life after you've walked away. So at the end of the day, the question was asked: is there a good? Did he leave for a good reason? Is there ever a good reason for a man to leave? I mean, we talk about women who have to leave relationships, and I've seen statements that women have made in women groups, that said, "Look, to keep your peace, to keep your joy, to keep your happiness, girl, you got to leave." I've heard that said so many times. So, is there a good reason for men?
There is
to
a
leave?
good reason. I could say this. There's a good reason. When you get in a relationship and it gets that bad, and you're involving kids that's around, and they have to see two people argue all the time, say the wrong things in the home, it get toxic. So it's best, and if men do leave for that reason, it's a good reason, because that's not good for the kids, man. It's not
Right,
about you guys no more. It's about the kids.
right, right. And do you think that's selfishness? Do you think I'm gonna do this? I'm gonna do this. I gotta do this. Do you think that women are can make selfish decisions and lash out at men and not think about the kids either until it's too late?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've seen people do that in other people relationships.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Oh yeah.
Wow. Where we at? Okay. Okay. And so, okay, I do have the ladies on here, and the ladies are saying yes, that is possible. That is possible. See, at the end of the day, we have to realize that there's so much more at stake. There's so much more at stake than just, okay, I proved my point. I proved the point. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And sometimes we get caught up on proving a point, and it's like I'll burn the whole house down just to prove my point. And
Right.
then at the end of the day, where we gonna live? You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's that backtracking thing where
Right.
we allow anger and the pressure to overtake us in the moment. And then it leads us to a place to where we are in a worse state. I don't care what anybody says. People try to smile and say, "Oh, I'm good by
Right.
myself. I'm good by
Right.
myself." The truth of
Right.
the matter is, deep down inside, when you really get people to themselves in therapy and talk, you
Hmm.
start to realize that people really aren't good by themselves.
They're not.
They say that to kind of brush it off, and they go with this new age thought process of wording. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of pressure. And people don't want to do stuff
Right.
alone. They really want
Hmm.
to have a spouse and be in a happy relationship.
Exactly.
It's unhealthy to not want a good relationship. I'm
Right.
going to say that again. It's not healthy
Healthy.
to not want a healthy relationship with a person.
And,
That is so important. People need connections in life.
mhm. And
I see a
mhm.
statement here. Hold on one
Okay.
second. Um, I see a statement says that they probably do it all the time and then blame him. Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay. All
Wow.
right. And then, women don't take accountability at all. TBZ is always the man.
See, I didn't start no fire tonight.
Oh my God. Women do not want to take any accountability. Is that true, ladies? Or I mean, is that really true that you don't want to take any accountability and that men have to take all of the blame for things? Is that true? Come on, talk to me. I'm trying to figure this one
Oh
out.
man,
Oh,
man,
someone said
man,
I want
man,
all the smoke. Oh no. Oh
man.
no.
Oh, I
No.
hear. Yep. Oh boy.
Oh no. I see
Oh
it coming.
man.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But it says some women, but not
Oh
all,
man.
wants
Oh,
to
I
want.
want all the smoke.
No one wants. No one wants to be wrong. True, true,
Uh-huh.
true. Wait
Wait
till you
until
get
you get
home. Oh,
home.
oh no. Oh no. I, this
Uh,
is
oh boy.
fire starters. I see fire starters in the room all of a
Oh
sudden.
boy.
Uh, it's just really important, man. I tell you, it's sad. It's a sad case. You know, it's a really sad case. And for me, I think the eye opener for me while getting ready for this podcast was that I could take a breath, because I took a breath. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. I took a breath because finally I really got a good view on the scope of single parenting and men that leave families. And
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, it's not a culture, it's not a one culture issue. This is an issue broadly. So, and when I say that, every culture is dealing with
Right.
men leaving the family. There are reasons to that. There are reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that every reason is an argument with the woman either. Sometimes there are some lust issues. There are issues of pressure when a person feels like, hey, I just can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's different occasions, different reasons. But what I'm saying is, for men, we have to at some point put ourselves in a position where we can really think clearly and say, look, man, these are my children.
Right.
This is my wife. And, our argument is not big enough for me to walk out.
Right.
Or work through it. I mean, I don't care how long it takes, work through it.
Work
And if
through
you
it.
can see
Yeah.
some form of if you see a little bit of progress, keep working. You know what I mean? Don't stop, but keep working until you come to a better place with each other. I think that's very, very, very important.
Yep.
How do single parenting affect a child in when it comes to the stats? Children raised by single mothers are more likely to fare worse on a number of dimensions, including their school achievement, their social and emotional development, their health, and their success in the labor market. This isn't me talking. This isn't me talking. Once again, these are some stats that have been pulled together with therapists and the Huff Post, and their statements are saying that our children are worse off in single parent homes, primarily in a single mother with a single mother. That over the overall percentage, they come out far worse when they're in a single parent home and they grow up that way. Um, so I think that we really have to be aware of that, because at the end of the day, we leave them out to dry. We really hang our
Right.
children out to dry when we
Right.
walk away. You know what I mean? It's the children that suffer the most. And
Exactly.
I don't care how well you put together a new family, those children are never going to be what they could have been if
Right.
their original parents were together and worked it out. And sometimes the children need to see parents be able to work things out.
Work with each
So
other. Right.
instead of argue and leave, be able to
Mm-hmm.
work things out so that the
Right.
children can actually understand in life that life may be rough. It may be some times when we disagree. We might
Right.
bump heads every now and then, but at the end of the day, we worked it out and we stuck
Right.
together. I mean, when you stick together, it proves
Mm-hmm.
something. Sticking together, it says a lot. And at the end of and it really puts you and the person that you're with,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a stronger push and a stronger bond. And really,
Right.
that's when it really turns into me and you against the world type of talk. When you really get to a point to where, hey, we work through our differences, but we're still together this many years later. I think that's very important. So
Yeah.
at this
Because
time, Brother Cameron, go ahead, brother.
yeah, because it's very, very healthy. I've had that experience, and it's very unhealthy. And guess what? No one wins at all, you
Right.
know. And it's bad,
Right.
like you just said. It's really bad for the kids, man. If they could see both parents work together, whether they're together or not, then it's healthy for them. I said something last week, and I remember I was in that situation. Whereas I'll go to school mad, and next thing you know, they're calling my parents because what I mean. You see things around the house, and then the parents will get on the kids, not realizing that they are the reason why the kids are acting up in school because of what they see at home. You know, so if you're not having peace with that man or that woman, guess what? You have kids, they're not having peace. A lot of
Right.
kids cover their head with a pillow. They now they have games that it could get on the computer, and that's their outlet. And that shouldn't be their outlet because what happens is there's a lot of bad things out there in the world, and they might just turn the wrong way or see the wrong thing or be influenced in drugs somewhere out there because they don't have a healthy home. So and that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the fact that Jacinda put something in. She said that people get wrapped up in the emotional and physical attraction, which is only the
Hmm.
first stage of a relationship. And truthfully, that's one of the biggest problems. The biggest problems is that we're so blindly in love, and
Right,
this is that's why I don't believe in the statement "I fell in love." If you fall in
right.
love, you're in a world of trouble because that
Hmm.
means that you did not make a decision, a conscious decision, a sound
Right,
decision. Relationships are based on sound decisions. You can't just fall into love.
right,
Looks, attraction, all of that chemistry stuff that people talk about, it's good, it feels good, yeah. But at the end of the day, it really has to be some substance. And the only way that you can really
right,
sort out if there's substance is by having a sound mind of judgment and being able to really talk to that person and find out what it is that they want in life, and see if it matches up to what you want in life, and see if the respect levels are the same. And
right.
those are the things that if you ever take the time out to do, you can avoid a lot of issues. I see something else here. Um, uh, okay, yeah, I got that. All right, cool. Yeah. So I mean, this it's so important, guys. Look, we're getting close to our wrap up time. We only got about 3 minutes left. Actually, sorry, no, we have about 2 minutes left now. And look, I enjoyed you guys on tonight. I enjoyed this talk. I think that it was very helpful, and I'm hoping that some people take some stuff back with them because it is a great deal of information, and I think that it can help a lot of people if we could just learn how to maneuver life through conversation, through treating each other with love and kindness. And I believe that we can get a lot further and you can resolve a lot of issues and things that are causing so much turmoil in your relationship. The kids are the most important thing. It's never a really good reason to just walk away, um, unless it's the case of abuse, physical abuse, and mental abuse, and things that are destroying you. I think that's very important that you don't lose respect for each other, that it gets to that level. So I want to read one last one. It says for Joe, I just also want to state kids can have both parents and still be lost. And the military, they tell you attention to deal attention to detail. What are the details? Will I see a little bit of words differently? Some of these words are like spelled different. Um, I think they're like, is that talk to text? I'm not sure, but it details will give the kids a vow, and if you don't understand what a vow is, you shouldn't be making one. True, truly, absolutely. I think that is very important. That that vow is not just for a matter of just going through the motions. And yes, children do come out bad in both situations. they can easily come out bad. We're just looking at the ratio and the highest percentage according to stats of the children that have been affected in the U.S. And in the single parent homes, they are predominantly the ones who have the worst outcome. So at the end of the day, guys, thank you so much for jumping in on the show. He is able. Share this with somebody. I hope it helps somebody out. I appreciate everyone that was on tonight, and you guys have a blessed night. Peace out.
They say